spoken about where are the opportunities, I take you to what is happening in the world and what are the best practices and models which are of relevance for our study in India. I would like to take you to the model of Michigan University and how did it go ahead with the development of industrial cluster. This is typically an illustrative model of research and regional economic development. Now, how could academic institutions do this? This is one area where the focus was on science, life sciences, information technology, where universities' research was focused on interdisciplinary research approach and growth of these to industries in the region. Michigan has used incentives for economic development like bonds, tax, credit, grants, etc. How did this whole model work? The working of this model is this way, that the universities was involved in creating strategies at state and local level to promote economic development. They were an integral part of the strategies for the local and the state level development. At the University of Michigan, the business school started conducting symposia twice a year. Several departments of the universities interacted with the business department. This gave rise to understanding of what is there to offer, and business school was the front-ending partner in this economic model. Having showcased this to the outside world, the Office of Technology Transfer helped secure funds, deal with licenses and patent issues which were required for the academic departments. It then further went on to provide a gap funding. There was a small kind of a funding which was required by some of these academic departments for businesses which were unable to meet or get any kind of a venture or a seed funding, which was provided by the department and the Office of Technology Transfer. This led to a lot of research outcomes which were usable research and which would get converted into scalable businesses. University research got commercialized, it got recognized. University got involved with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation in shaping up the complete life science corridor. What can really be done? What are the lessons that we could take from this particular model? So, this model slowly got replicated from life sciences to information technology, media, agriculture, various areas which could really be defined as the domains, and this could get replicated. So, how could this happen in an Indian context? So, it could happen in an Indian context where jointly university starts working with the local authorities, the state development boards, councils, who need some assessments, provide inputs to these councils, inculcate innovative research initiatives, develop the culture of spin-off companies in the university or in the academic institutions, use the available ideal infrastructure and space to do the joint research initiatives between faculty and industry through the changes that may be needed in the regulations within the academic institution, and create centers of excellence. It is not a rocket science, it is quite possible to replicate this particular model. I will take you to the second model. The second model of development is the model of career cluster development. The first model, which was about creation of a corridor in conjunction with the industry, would really excite the overseas partner to look at an Indian academic institution to partner with. So, this will bring us at an academically international arena that the world is in, the developed economy is in. So, therefore, this illustrative model number 1 becomes very significant. Now, let me go to the second illustrative model of career cluster development. This career cluster development model has been very successfully been used by Illinois. Illinois career cluster model is what it is known as. We have seen that France, Canada, Germany, everyone has been focusing on career development. But do we really have the right kind of models that will excite these countries to look at our institutions? So, here is the first model, the second model that I am going to be speaking on, which is the career cluster. So, what really needs to be done? So, the career cluster would be exposed to the breadth of essentials of cluster, the level of knowledge that is required, the skills for multiple careers and multiple entry points. And this could happen anywhere. It could be in the form of a adult bridge programs, it could be dual credits which can happen in the secondary program, it could happen in terms of the undergraduate program, it could happen at the postgraduate level. Now, how are we going to do this? So, this will happen by clearly understanding the essential knowledge and skills. So, the career pathway where after completion of the secondary or post secondary, that is 10th or 12th class, the student, this is how it happened in Illinois, that students made the choice about the occupation in a career of interest. Skills and knowledge became more specific and students became specialized in this specific area. The third is the program of study. So, first is career cluster, second is the essential knowledge and skill, which is the career pathway, and the third is program of study. In the program of study, the students were allowed to follow a sequence of course for degree for entry into their career. So, the first, which was meant only for adults or for people who had quit their education or who were just doing their secondary. The second career choice, which is the career pathway, is meant for people at the secondary and post secondary level, and the third was at the meant for people at the graduation level. So, this could really happen even in India, where we try and understand what are the basic skill trainings that are required. We could look at certification at the secondary level, we could look at job entry through certain courses and programs, and the fourth could be the regular degree programs. I will try and explain you more in detail of this particular model. How did this happen? In this model, the cluster existed wherein the university or an institution aligns to the cluster. So, it is important to have a cluster. For example, here is an example of the health cluster. So, in the health cluster, what will come under career cluster, what will come in the career pathway, and what will come in the program of study. In the career cluster, we would have the essential skills and knowledge, like for example, someone wants to get into the health sciences. So, very basic essential skills of this career clusters will be taught to people who are either age old, adults, dropouts who could come into this. In the career pathway, what could be the different kinds of skill sets that the people could be trained on? Diagnostic centers, they could get into health informatics, they could get into therapeutic services, they could get into support services, they could get into biotechnology R&D. The third, which is meant for people in the graduation, could be the program of studies, and these are high end courses and skills that are really required. It could be kind of a medical technologist, radiological technologist, cardiovascular technologist could be one track. The second track could be healthcare administrator. He could become a data analyst. He could become a health service manager. The third track could be fitness trainers, dietitians, surgical assistant. The fourth track could be facility manager, biomedical engineer, hospital maintenance engineer, food service administrator. And the fourth track could be quality control technicians, quality control managers, biomedical engineers and medical scientists. So, this will help retain the talent in a given region. Precisely this model speaks of understanding how do you align the skill to a given cluster in a given region. So, this will definitely help the students, it will help the educators, it will help the employers, it will help the community at large. And this is where India needs to buck up and reach out to such kind of standards if we really want to have alliance and partnerships with overseas partners.